In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Many years back, many years ago, I visited a small restaurant near my home in the morning and asked them what is available for the sake of breakfast. The owner of that restaurant was a very simple man. He replied that we do have a chapati, we will lubricate it with the ghee, and then there is omelette and this sort of curry, that sort of curry. Earlier than that, an employee, the sole teenager employee of the same restaurant, had told me that we do have a paratha, we do have an omelette, we do have this, we do have that. While the owner of the restaurant, a very simple man, was telling this, that we do have a roti and we will put ghee on it, the the same teenager employee was interrupted and said that he is trying to make the customers run away. He is trying to make the customers run away. Though it was not his benefit, the benefit of the employee, to attract the more customers, but being a fresh mind, being an intelligent boy, he conceived that the owner is not making the right presentation. Then another case I shall like to put forward in front of you. A friend of ours who had recently returned from having job of few years in the South Korea, who worked in South Korea for few years, had recently returned. We used to sit together off and on for the sake of the gupshup. Once he told that he will bring a Korean omelette from his home and we will eat it in the lunch. I shall bring the lunch and it will be chapati plus Korean omelette. We were waiting curiously for the sake of Korean omelette, and the Korean omelette did arrive. We ate, enjoyed, and praised the Korean omelette. Few weeks had gone, 2 3 months had gone. That friend of ours told us that since I was working there in the Korea and we had to cook our food for ourselves, we didn't like the food of the restaurant. It was not halal. Food was not available at that time probably, or was not available near them. Plus, it was quite expensive as well. So all the boys working there, all the men working there, and living at the same spot used to cook themselves. And this is an omelette we used to cook for ourselves, and it is not a Korean omelette at all. Once he told us this thing, after that, there was no intention to eat that Korean omelette again. Although it was very simple to make, even more simpler to make than the usual Pakistani omelette. But we had lost interest in that Korean omelette. The presentation matters. Your words matter. The title you have attached and you are attaching with something else matters and matters a lot. The names, some of the people, name their children as cat, as this, as that. That is very, very, very nonsense. Why? Because it does affect the psychology of that particular child. She will try to unconsciously and deliberately even, she will try to behave like a cat sometimes. For that reason, I shall be found saying that be very careful, be very cautious about your words. Be very careful, be very cautious about your words. Because the words matters. Because the titles you are attaching with someone, with something matters and matters a lot. Look upon the food and the rest of the items available in the market. They do a lot of work on the name, the naming their product, presentation, packing, they then the advertisements, then the advertisements. Look upon the advertisement is the biggest example. Advertisements we watch are the biggest example, the more vivid example to understand the things. So it is really, really, really important not to be careless, not to be cautionless about the words you are using for something, about the words you are using for some sort of observation, for some sort of experience, for some of the people, for your close people. And it is to be the point to be noted is that it can be judged whether the person talking about you is your friend or your enemy, whether he she is an ignorant person or a very learned one, very learned one, very educated one, very well informed. It can be judged. Why? Why? Because of the words, because of the title, because of the way they are addressing you. So that is the reason it is very important and very necessary to be careful, to be cautious about the words we are using, about the titles we are using, about the presentation we are using, about the way we are marketing something else, about the way we are marketing something else. It is very important, very important, very important about ourselves, because we are with ourselves for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are with ourselves 24/7. So it is very, very important to be very careful and very cautious about how we present ourselves, how we market ourselves. Thank you. Jazakallah.